Big up Spurs fans, near and far with your boy Deji Spurs. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The amount of highs and lows that I'm going through this season, it is a mazza, it is a madness. But wanting to reflect on the weekend's game, wanting to reflect on Tottenham's season so far, wanting to reflect on where we're moving forward so far. Big up to everyone that's locked in, locked on. Big up to everyone that's locking in later on as well. I think for me, the weekend, last week, Bodo. Let's talk about Bodo. What a result. I didn't think Tottenham had it in them, to be honest. I had them to go and lose. But the way they went out there, controlled the game, pammed them, got the 2-0 win, I thought very, very impressive. And then we got brought back down to earth by Crystal Palace. I have to say that is one of the dustiest performances I've ever seen in my life. Kinksky moving like Kinky. Do you know what I mean? Jed Spence. Can I just talk about Jed Spence? Jed Spence had a shocker. And I'm a big fan of Jed Spence. I think he's been one of the best players for Spurs this season. But at the same time, I'm putting out a defense for Jed. I can't blame him. There was that moment where Jed Spence was playing well, and Postecoglou came out with a statement that, all well and good that he's doing well, but, he's waiting for, and I'm paraphrasing here, he's waiting for Porro and Udogie to come back. And real talk, Jed Spence for me has been the best right or left back for Spurs this season. And the brother has found himself demoted. After that Ferdinand interview that he did, brother's been on the bench. Ain't making no sense to me. So if Jed Spence doesn't look like he's on it anymore, doesn't look like he's for it, can you blame him? I've said it for about a month now. I don't think the players are playing for Ange. I think in the Europa League, they're playing for themselves and they want to win it for themselves, not for this man. And I think Postecoglou, there was a moment, I'm not going to lie to you, there was a moment after the Bodo game where I was thinking maybe if he does this, if he actually wins this trophy, maybe we blind him. But there is no way you can blind this guy. He is mad. He is a madman. He is a gambler. And we have now lost 20 games this season. When I said in November times, after the Brighton game, around about the time we played Crystal Palace, that the way our season is looking is that we win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Tottenham could lose 18, 19 games. I was joking. I was joking. I make a statement, but I didn't even mean it. To see my club have taken 20 L's this season, and there's still at least another 2 more to come, it's nothing short of the biggest budgie banting smoking disgrace I've ever seen in my life. There is no way. I'm seeing bare Tottenham, man. People telling me, see my manager, see this, see that. There is no way. Look, I'm not even going to give my opinion today. I'm not even going to give my opinion. Big up to everyone that's locked in, locked on. Artillero says, bro, you better win this Europa League or I'm coming for you. Bro, it's do or die. Look, the thing for me is this, yeah? Daniel says, this club owes us the Europa. Bruv, they really do. After this crap, there's not one game I can look, apart from the 4-0 City, it's been a disaster of a season. Now, the reason why I asked the question, Dan says, big up my brother Dan in the building, he said he's a madman, a gambler, like you say, he's putting all on Europa, do all that. That's my point. Is he a madman or is he a genius? Remember, there was that season where Mourinho under United, it was clear they weren't going to win the league. And he literally put all his eggs in that one basket and he managed to get it over the line. And today, Mourinho can hold his head up high, where it was like, yeah, I won the Europa League with United. But do you know what I mean? Had he not won it, it would have been an absolute disgrace. But let's break this down. Let's break this down because there are still Spurs fans shaking their bum for Postecoglou, shaking their bum violently. And I'm saying, what for? Why are we shaking? Postecoglou we have lost 20 games plus this season. That's it. It's the worst Tottenham performance in the Prem or in League that we have seen in our history. So he has got that crown, the worst performing Tottenham team in our history. Hold that. So that's the first thing. However, the only thing that would make it okay is if he wins the Europa League, because you can say, you know what, maybe he's a genius. Maybe Postecoglou decided early on, forget the league, because we know we don't have the squad to compete in both. Let's focus on the Europa League or the cup competitions, win that, get the trophy, get European football, and build from there. If that is the case, and Postecoglou wins, he is a genius or is a gambler. Or is he a madman? Because what a gamble that is. Because if United beat Spurs, because I'm looking at all the Tottenham fans that are saying, you know what, give him time. Look at the players. He ain't had none of the players so far this season. If he had the players, blah, 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 this and that. Yeah. That if you're free, man, feel free to jump on, because do you know what I mean? You know, let me put the link in the chat, because right now, if anybody wants to jump on and have this conversation with me in the Lord Kirshan, more than welcome. Because I'm not understanding, because I'm looking at it like this. It's do or die. If he succeeds, I think he breathes a sigh of relief. If he doesn't succeed, he is our worst manager in our history. And the question I ask is, why did we allow this to happen? Why did we wait for potentially the inevitable? So the question I ask is, regardless of what happens with Ange, does he stay? Does the Europa League paper over the cracks? Can we overlook our league performances because of this potential Europa League? Or should we just call a spade and say maybe he was just lucky? He's a lucky madman. He's a lucky gambler. I'm not trying to poo-poo the fact that you're in the Europa League. I am delighted that we are there. But let's not lie. As dusty as United is, dustier than Tutankhamun, there is no guarantee, guys, that we're going to beat that team. I am worried. Spurs fans, and I need you guys to appease me, that we could be left with holding 17th, 21, 22 defeats in the Prem, and no trophy. If we get no trophy, then what? You consider that possibility. Then what? So Larry Pickerton says, how about stop complaining and let the manager do his job? Larry, I'm not complaining. The fact of the matter is, whether you like it or not, do you not think we're in a precarious position? If he gets it over the line, well done to him. But Larry, have you not considered the fact that if Spurs do not get this over the line, what say you? What say you? So I'm not complaining. More, I am bracing myself for a possibility. And I think it would be foolish of any Spurs fan to think that we've got this over the line. But I'm not overlooking our league performances, mate. 20 defeats in the Premier League is a disgrace. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a disgrace. And if you think that's acceptable, then you're part of the reason why we're in the mud. I don't mean that lightly. I'm not trying to blame you, mate. But honestly, come on, let's have a genuine conversation here. Dancing Car says, if you guys lose to this United team, it's a long day. If we lose to this United team, this whole season of taking L after L, time after time, like Cyndi Lauper, would have been for nothing. It would be a waste of time. That means I had my time wasted when we could have got rid of him sooner. That's all I'm saying. I know we've kept the faith. I'm saying I hope Tottenham get it over the line. If Ange wins the Europa League, he's a genius. He's a genius. I think you can say that. Maybe he can say that was always the plan. He didn't share it with us for whatever reason, but that was always the plan. Hence his statement, I always win in my second season. How can you argue with that? You can't. He says he always wins and he's done it again. Well done to him and well done to us as Spurs fans. But I think the point I'm trying to make, Larry, is I don't like this Russian roulette football. We are gambling with our livelihoods here. Do you know what I mean? Big up Johnny in the building. Big up to you. And Larry says Ange's not a liar. I'm not calling him a liar. I didn't say he's a liar. If he doesn't win, I am saying, though, he's a gambler. You get what I'm saying? I do think this is a gamble. And I can't lie to you. I feel uneasy at the fact that it's all or nothing. I would have preferred it not to be. It is what it is. But I would have preferred it not to be all or nothing. Because, Larry, I don't know about you, and it'd be good to hear from you. What do we do if he doesn't? It's all well and good if we do. We can breathe. For me, I'll shake my bum violently and I will breathe a massive sigh of relief. But if he does not, what say you is the question I ask. Asma says, both you mans are in the final are scammers, period. Bro, I actually will go as far as to say this, Asma. Artillery thinks that Larry's actually Ange. Larry says, back the manager like a proper fan. I don't know how I'm not backing the manager here. I'm just saying to you, it's slightly concerning. I'm not backing him. I'm backing him. But I'm also saying, mate, this is high stakes football. This is the riskiest football I've ever seen as a Spurs fan. Have you seen a game of this magnitude in your life as a Spurs fan? So let me just break it down, because I don't think you're understanding the magnitude of this game. And I think Asma is alluding to this correctly. Yeah? Deji is backing the team. That is a problem. I am backing the team. I want Spurs to win. I don't want us to lose. I want us to win. And listen to this. This is where you know that I've been truly dealt with this season. Back in the day, early in the season, I would shake my bum and I would make outrageous predictions for Spurs. Outrageous predictions where, to my mind, I actually believed in. I'm saying, I just hope we do it. Because you can imagine a story where Spurs have beaten United 3 times already this season, but the one that mattered, the one that changes our lives, is the one that we don't get over the line. To beat a team 4 times in a season, whether there's a trophy involved or not, is very, very difficult to do. Yeah, let's all agree on that. The other thing, though, I wanted to say is this Europa League final is bigger than the Champions League final. Yes, you heard me right. This Europa League final is bigger than the Champions League final. Why is that? Big up Lee. Lee says we'll beat United. I hope so, Lee. I hope so. Hey, Larry's saying back and until the end, no matter win or lose. Now you've got to be smoking Budgie Banton. There is no way I am backing this brother, win or lose. I'm backing him if he wins, and I'm dabbing him if he doesn't. Dan, my good friend.
Big up, Deji, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. Dan, do you agree with me that this Europa League is bigger than the Champions League? And I'm telling you, let me explain why. Both United and Spurs have been rubbish in the league this season. We are dusty. Both teams cannot get Europe if they don't win this game. Both teams will have to take the fact that if you don't win, you have been at the helm of the worst season that club has seen in the Prem. Whether it be United, whether it be Spurs. There's someone in the chat, Larry, who is saying that I should back Ange, win or lose. I can't do that. I'll back Ange if he wins. I'm not backing him if we lose. Where do you stand? Because I'm saying if Ange wins, he's a genius. Maybe he planned this from the beginning. Maybe it was always his plan to forfeit the league and get us a trophy. It's possible, Dan, but where do you stand with all of this?
Look, man, if he wins that Europa League, he's done great. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, but he's had an easy run, man. Let's be real here. He's had an easy run, Deji, hasn't he? And he's changed up his tactics at the right time when he needed to, and then he's gone back to his Ange ball in the Premier League where it doesn't work. I mean, I don't understand this guy, Deji. Like, why didn't he change up his tactics sooner? We clearly can see that if set up better, that we can get results. But he doesn't do it in the Premier League, just does it for the Europa. So he's putting all his eggs in one basket, and we have to pray that he pulls it off. We deserve that trophy, man. Us fans, for the season that we've had. Don't we, Deji, mate?
I agree with you, Dan. Like, for me, like, and the point I'm not. Are you nervous, Dan? Are you nervous about the Europa League?
Am I nervous?
Yeah.
I've gone beyond that now, man. We just got to get it over the line. It's 50-50, man. We can win it. We can win it. But how do you think he's going to play, though, Deji? Is he going to play Ange ball? Or is he going to play like we saw against Frankfurt and Bodo?
Bro, I think he has to be pragmatic like he was against Frankfurt and Bodo. Whatever's happened, he has got it right. The one thing that is getting me, though, with the narrative of Ange's been getting it right in Europe is, you know me, Dan, I've never really rated European teams as a whole. I do think the Premier League is so far superior to European football in the main. Is that pragmatic tactic going to work against United? Like, I watched United Lyon, at least a bit of that game. They can score goals. United have also down tools in the league. I'm just scared at the fact that we've played them 3 times. We've had their number 3 times. But is Amorim really going to allow a 4th time? That's my concern. What's he going to do different? At the moment, it's Richarlison on the left. Son is a shadow of himself. Brennan Johnson's not beating anybody. Do you know what I mean? And Solanke doesn't get the ball. So and then we don't have a midfield. I don't know what midfield 3 is going to go with. The only thing I can guarantee is our back 5. So is Basuma going to start against United? Even if Basuma starts, what is Basuma going to do? I'm not having a go. I'm just looking at the facts in my face. Our performance on the weekend was pathetic because you need these games to gain confidence. And Postecoglou said it himself. This was an opportunity for the players on the fringes to state their case. And he pretty much came out and said not one player gave him food for thought. Not one. So that's a disaster in my mind. That's not a good thing to say.
What's going on, man? I don't understand it, man. That yesterday was pure domination, weren't it, from Palace?
Absolute. We got domination in the location in our ground.
Oh my God, man. They were good, man, but we didn't turn up, man. I don't know what Ange was doing, man. Honestly, I don't know what to say, Deji, about him anymore. I've said enough. You know, it's the same conversations week in, week out about Ange's rubbish football. But then we can see how he sets up in Europa League that maybe think we could do something in that final. Now, it clearly works with Benton Basuma in a double pivot, not inverting the fullbacks, not playing a high line, just, different. But the only way we're going to beat Man United is through set pieces. Porro's our only creativity. And it's just going to be corners. And it's just going to be us wanting it more than Man U. We ain't got no Madison. We've got no Bergvall. Son's off form. Kulusevski's off form. I mean, we're not going to look pretty, but if we can just grind it out somehow, set up sensibly, like you said, Deji, then we've got a chance. Of course, we have Man United are rubbish. Let's be real here, man. They're rubbish like us.
Yeah, it's too dusty. The dusty end is dusty and dustier. Do you know what I'm saying? Dan, I've got a quick question for you, though. Look, if Ange does win it for us, we got to put some respect on his name. Are you buying into this argument that maybe that was the plan? Because that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. Is he a genius or a madman? Sometimes he might have just assessed our squad very early on and went, you know what? Well, no, we could achieve what we want to achieve without having to stress ourselves with the Prem. because to win the Europa League and to get us into Champions League football, he's a legend, mate. Whatever you say, whether you like him or not, he is a club legend after that.
Yeah, look, he will deserve praise if he wins it, of course. But I mean, I'm not buying this thing that he can only play in one competition. You know, other teams have done it this season. They're playing in multiple competitions. They're getting results in both. And we're 17th in the league, Deji. You got to put in some level of performance in other competitions. You can't just play one competition. Like, what's going to happen next year if we get in the Champions League? What that mean? We don't play in anything else? I don't buy it, Deji. I'm sorry, I don't. Praise him for winning it, of course, but move him on for the 20 league defeats, which is our worst in our history, right?
Yeah, no, it's our worst by far in the history, and there's still more to come. I think there's still another 2 more defeats heading our way. I am, Dan, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe being a Spurs fan, maybe me wanting the trophy so bad, I did catch myself after the Bodo game listening to his speech in the dressing room, where it was all about him, but thinking, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, he deserves a bit of time, despite the fact that I felt it for a moment. I'm not saying that's what should happen. I just felt it for a moment. Do you know what I mean?
No, you're not the only one, Deji, man. There's many fans out there still behind Ange, still backing him. You know, they're all gambling on the Europa League, isn't it? Winning it. So what if we don't win that Europa League? Then what?
That's the problem. That is the problem, Dan. And I feel like a lot of Spurs fans, especially Larry, that was in the chat, that was having a go at me, has missed that point, which is if he doesn't win this Europa League, is it fair to say we just had our time wasted?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Honestly, like all fans should come together for this final, yeah? It's not a biting back at each other. We should all, if we win it, all of us should be happy. But there will be the told you so's and all of that rubbish. But I don't take much notice to it. I know how I feel about Ange, and many people feel like me. And I don't really care. If we win it, we celebrate it. And then, look, the league will make a decision in the summer. He'll probably be moved on. We've got Vinay coming in, Paratici coming back. We'll be in the Champions League next season if we win it. Bring in a decent coach to manage in multiple competitions. Ange can't do it, can he? He's openly admitted it. He said it yesterday in the press conference. I'm struggling to manage both competitions. He just owns up to it, doesn't he?
He said that. He said he's struggling to manage. There is one thing, though, he did say that got me thinking. And this, again, this is on the base. I'm not getting soft, don't worry. He did have me thinking, which is that he said that the plan this season was all messed up, you know, in terms of our transfers, that we went, maybe they made the mistake by going too young. And he said that our transfer policy moving forward, or at least the next transfer policy, is that we're going to get ready-made, Prem-proven players. I can't remember which game or which press conference he said that, but he basically insinuated we're going to go and get Prem-proven. We're going to go and get proper players who can hit the ground running. Now, if he wins the Europa League and they bring in an Eze quite quickly, for example, do we hold fire?
No, I don't trust him. I'm sorry. Like we got to change in the summer, because if we start with Ange next season, right, and then we're in the same boat, losing all the time, win one, lose one, injuries pile up because of the way he plays, we're going to miss out on the manager we want. You know, there'll be better choices in the summer. We'll have more options. Yeah, so I don't want to take that risk. My mind's made up on Ange either way. We win it or we don't win it. I want him gone. It's unacceptable for any Spurs manager to lose 20 matches and not to put in any type of performance in the league. Nothing's improved. Look, Deji, I'm not going to bore you with it all. You know, we know how bad it is and the statistics and everything. It's just absolutely dreadful, unacceptable, embarrassing, shameful. Losing every week, man. Every week. How can we go? I've never seen anything like it.
Out of 38 games.
I mean,
Hold that. It's crazy. It's crazy. What I don't get, and for people who say I'm being negative, I'm not being negative. I want Spurs to win. And actually, if I'm wrong and Spurs win the Europa League, then I'm celebrating. But if I'm right And if we're all proved right, we're all in the mud. Like nobody wins if Spurs doesn't win. Like it's that's and for me, I guess I woke up thinking this morning, how did we get ourselves in such a high? This game is we don't do well on but this is the highest stakes I've ever had. Part of it is actually quite exciting on one hand because it's literally all or nothing. It's not just winning a trophy. This is determining winning a trophy, getting the Champions League spot, and preventing us from and masking over the dustiest season we've witnessed in our lifetime. Too much. That's a lot. Usually you have one of those things to contend with. We've got 3 of them to contend with, Dan. Do you get what I'm saying? And for me, that is
it's a bit of a mind fuck. It is a mind fuck, man. Honestly, it is. It's really messes, which tests you. It really does test me, you know, because if he does win it and gets us in the Champions League, is fantastic. Yeah, but you know, you have to be sensible and look at the bigger picture with Ange and how he generally manages the team. And he's not a good manager, is he? He's not a good. Ange ball does not work. He's gone to this pragmatic style in the Europa League and he's getting to results against not great teams, man. Bodo Glimt, we should have beat them anyway, player to player. You know, Frankfurt are a tricky team. We did well, but that's because Ange adjusted, didn't he? It's not like he's played his style of play. And the most frustrating thing of it all is Ange could have adjusted months. Last season, he could have done it. We could have been in the Champions League last season if he was more pragmatic.
Yeah.
It's just it's not acceptable, Deji, and he's carried on with it. He did it again against Palace. Why didn't he stick with the same system against Palace? Look, there's going to be the argument over resting players, and I get that, but like some of those players could have played some minutes of the game. You know, didn't have to play. Palace didn't rest anyone, did they?
We've got 10 games and they're playing before us. I also believe there's rhythm. I'm going to bring in someone called Anti Milan. He's an Inter fan, but to get an outside view. But big up designated Hotspur with the super chat. Thank you. He says, I understand, Dan, but I disagree. I wish I could come on to speak for the other side of things. So designated Hotspur is saying, actually, Dan, he's saying potentially, and that's the point I'm saying. I'm not so, as much as I'm flabbergasted, disgusted, upset, because I can't overlook the 20 defeats. The achievement of winning that Europa League and making us not and we're no longer a banter club. You know, like Arsenal fans can't banter us if he does this. Do you know, like we're gonna have a great summer regardless. Do you know what I mean? And I'm gonna bring in Anti Milan, who is an Inter fan, outsider looking in. Anti Milan, you've got the pleasure of slapping up Barcelona this week. You're in the final. You've heard Dan, hearing from me. We are nervous.
Deji, I want to say something, mate. That designated Spurs guy, tell him come and watch my show tomorrow, 7:30. I'll put the link in the chat for him if he wants to jump on and talk about his side. He's more than welcome.
I might have to jump on and be mediator on that show tomorrow. Make sure you get on Spurs Analyst Dan's show tomorrow, 7:30, where we will I think we're going to be unpicking all week. But Anti Milan, welcome, my good friend. Outsider looking in, what are your thoughts from an Inter perspective and from an outsider? Should we be calm or should we be like, hell, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. 20 defeats in the league, it's disgrace, 100%. I mean,
So do you agree? Do you agree with Dan then and us? We're basically, does it change for you as an outsider? I know you're not a Spurs fan, but think if you were in our position, he wins the league, he wins the Europa League. Can that paper over the cracks?
Yes, definitely. Because you get qualified for the Champions League. Basically, just for this, just for this.
So you're saying that we can scum our way into Champions League and give him, and so you're saying he deserves more time.
No. Even if he managed to win Europa League, he has to go. You need to get Pochettino in, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Or anybody you can coach, anybody like Glasner, you know,
Yeah,
there's
but
so many of them.
I think
Anybody.
Pochettino is very like Spurs fan, like. So
He
I
won't
think
come.
loves
he's
Spurs.
the
He
right.
won't come. He's managing America now for the World Cup. He's not available.
Yeah,
And it's a
they
massive
might.
thing.
Well, do you know what I can see happening though, Dan? So when's the World Cup? Is it next year?
Yeah.
I reckon if he wins the Europa, they might allow Postecoglou to stay, pending.
No, they shouldn't.
Hopefully
No way.
we don't get relegated, and then they bring Poch in.
I wouldn't want to risk it. We're terrible,
I
man.
don't want to risk. That's how this season's been. The gambling. Look, Designated Hotspur says this. I will, Dan, and it's not about anyone telling you, told you so, because I agree with you. 20 defeats in the league is shambles. However, there are a lot of things we have to consider if he does.
Look, man, I'm open for people to give their opinions. I've got a couple of guests coming on tomorrow. Opinions are very different to mine. So yeah, come on, man, no problem. It'd be good.
SD Football says if we keep him, it'll just be the same next season. Can I just ask one question though, in Anti-Milan and Dan, before we wrap up quickly? One of my good mates, Arthur, he was on the other day, and he talked about the fact that maybe we're looking at this without context. So he talks about the unprecedented injuries, and you know, even Ange said it yesterday. He said if he didn't have the injuries, we would have won more games. Though I haven't seen proof of that.
No,
I haven't seen proof of that because
I don't think so.
we were winning. Yeah, I haven't seen proof, but that's what he's been saying. He said if I had my players and if they weren't injured, I would have been able to. We would be a lot higher in the league. We would have had less defeats. So I'm asking whether you kind of buy into that. But my friend was also saying that like everything around Tottenham has just been a hot mess, and he's had to navigate really, you know, tricky waters. He's had to navigate the fact that Spurs fans were moaning at the fact that we didn't have a cup run last season. This season we've got a cup run, so why are you moaning? And he said that as well. Yeah. The fact of the matter is we've been banging on about the fact that we won a trophy so bad. He's delivering us a trophy in the second season, yet we're still not happy. Arthur was basically saying like he was already damned if he done, damned if he does, damned if he didn't. And I did think that is slightly unfair because this season, at the beginning of the season, we all said we wanted a trophy and we wanted Champions League football. If he does achieve it, I mean, I'm just having a conversation.
But there needs to be respect with the team.
Yeah, what's up?
There needs to be respect with the team, man. We can't be losing that amount of games. We should be up there, man. With this team, this squad we've got, we shouldn't be that low, man. It's unacceptable. It's two things here. Yeah, we should be doing both. We should be challenging for European positions and winning a cup. That's what we should expect at least.
At least top 7, man. At least top 7.
So if we were top 7, because you know Sava and other people, and again, I love Sava, and I'm going to be jumping on his show hopefully this week. I don't know, and I don't want to speak for Sava. Top 7 and the Europa League. Would that have sufficed for you?
100%. That's good. That's fantastic. Because it's two things, isn't it? You know, you're making progress. Yeah, you're making progress in the league. We haven't made any progress under Ange in the league. It's just declined, digressed, whatever you want to call it, become a joke. And I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's shocking. It's every week coming on talking about the same old stuff, same old mistakes, and fans are like, don't care about losing. I'm sorry, but I care. I care about losing. I mean, I don't understand how fans could just sweep it under the carpet just because we have this Europa League run. I'm sorry. We need standards. Standards need to be higher with the fans.
Because at the same time, like, we find ourselves in Anti-Milan, you must be looking at this tie in terms of a potential Super Cup in August against one of two of the dustiest teams in the Prem right now. Part of me feels a little bit like a fraud. I can't even lie to you. Don't you feel fraudulent? As much as I'm shameless and I'm going to accept it, I feel like a fraud. Like really and truly, Like, what are we gonna do in the champs? Like, really, you know what I mean? Like, we're better off playing the Europa League again. What do you think?
Oh,
Is there any
who's
point
that?
of even playing the Champions League at this rate?
Not with this manager. We need a proper manager coming in, a better coach to sort this team out. Get some good, clever recruitment in the summer, and go for it. Look, we got to.
Yeah.
We can't do it with Ange. Ange can't do it. He said he can't. He can't manage it. So let's get someone else in who can.
Yeah, fair enough. Anti Milan, your comments outside of looking in, you see Manchester United, aka Piccadilly, you see Tottenham Hotspur. For me, I think we're as dusty as each other. I can't call it, but you might see some other things that maybe we're not seeing. What do you see? What do you think the likely outcome of this Europa League? Because these two teams, for me, are disgraceful.
I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised that United beat Bilbao 7-1 on aggregate. I don't know how they managed to do that. Really.
Yeah. We're all shocked
It's
as well, mate, trust me.
So
But do you think
it's almost impossible to predict what will happen, in the final.
I think lastly, Dan, you've seen United, they got slapped by West Ham on the weekend. I mean, come on. I mean, even us, we went away to West Ham and got a draw. You know what I mean? And we played our second thing against West Ham. These guys, bloody hell, they had Ahmad and all these guys. Bloody Euro got injured. I mean, they were playing some proper players, and they still got panned by West Ham. Could it get any worse? Really? Should we be beating them? Like, because on the other hand, people talk about United heritage. They know how to win trophies. I would like to say I don't think it's an excuse. I think this United team is poor. If there were a United team in the top 3, top 4, I'd probably have a different kind of worldview.
Deji, that's it, mate. We've got to beat them, man. There's no excuse. No excuse. This is the worst Man United team I've ever seen. Yeah, we have to beat them. We must beat them. Yeah, that's it. That's how it is now. Wednesday. Got to win. We've got to win it. No excuses now. Yeah, got to do it. Got to finally do it. We've owed it.
Big up my brother Sean in the building. And look, Sean, I've tried to put a balanced argument here, which is I've said if he does do it, what an amazing achievement. It will be the greatest manager for Spurs. I guess for me, I'm just having palpitations on the fact that there is so much riding on this game, and the players have never been in a situation like this. Even like Man City or United, when they win the league or when they win trophies, it's not win or die. It's win or, you get your pride dented. Do you know what I mean? Man City not winning the FA Cup, I don't think they were that bloody bothered, to be honest with you. It was like, all right, cool. When United won, we've won the league. So much is riding. It's almost like someone put in the chat earlier. It's almost like survival from the relegation. Could you imagine Spurs and United? Winner survives. It's got that kind of feel. And I'm saying to you, Dan and Anti Milan, I don't know if you ever see me again if Spurs doesn't win that Europa League. I don't know. It's that bad. I need Spurs to win. I want Spurs to win. I hope Ange does it. And I want to. Dan, would you go as far as this, though? Let's say this. Because I really want Spurs to win. I did this with the Arsenal fans where I said to the Arsenal fans, wouldn't you take Spurs winning the Europa League if it meant you win the Champions League? And a lot of them just didn't get what I was saying. They were like, no, I hate Spurs so much. I'd rather go out. And they went out. And you can see now how the fan base is up in arms. Yeah? Would you be prepared to be like, if Ange does it, I'm going to stream and give you the utmost respect and say, you know what? I got it wrong. And you got
What about
right.
Ange?
Yeah. For me, I don't give a damn. If Ange does it, I'm happy to come out publicly and say I apologize.
Look, I will praise him. I will praise him. Of course, I will praise. He's done fantastic, but that's where it ends for me. Thank you and bye-bye.
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
Yeah. I'm ready to be shameless on both sides. I'm ready to be like, Ange, you are a madman. You might even be a genius. You done it. I don't give a damn. I have a trophy. I'm going to the parade. Woohoo. Whippy-doo-doo. Whippity-day. Last comments before we go.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Designated says, no excuses, guys. We have to win it. This United team is awful after beating Bilbao with a red card first leg and no Williams brothers second leg. I agree. So designated, maybe tomorrow on Dan's channel, I would like to know, in the unfortunate event we don't win the Europa League, what say you then? What say you then? Because that's the point that Dan is making. Dan is saying we should be beating this United team and winning that trophy. And if it doesn't, then what the hell? Why did we keep this man in charge for so long? You got the bloody Nottingham Forest chairman having a go at Nuno, who's having a bloody excellent season, and we're taking L after L, time after time, like Cindy Lauper. I am prepared to overlook the L's this season. Sean, I'm on your side on this. I will overlook the L's if we win. But I won't lie, if we don't win, there's going to be war in the camp. Anti-Milan, last comments. Who wins? Because you didn't confirm. Spurs or United?
Spurs. Come on.
Yeah. Come on.
You have to win.
You have to win.
But not just for this season, but because of the last 17, you know.
Yeah. It's about time.
Trophy drought over this season. Come on.
Come on. Trophy drought over. Dan, do you see a smidge that we can do it? Rather than we have to do it, can you see if we can do it?
I can see us doing it, but I can't call it. I can't call it because they have got players on their day. Casemiro, Fernandes, you know, they can do it. They can turn up against Man City. They've done it. Newcastle, they've done it in finals recently. They've got players, big time players. We haven't got Madison. So I can't call it. It's all on the day. It's all on the day. Who wants it more? The midfield battle is going to be important. You know, whoever wins that midfield battle, because both defences and attacks, I would say, but our defence is better, I think, with Romero and Van der Ven. I think if set up right, we've got a better defence, but both the forward lines are not great. So it's going to be that midfield. Benton Basuma are going to have games of their lives. Got to dominate that midfield against Man U and just get us over the line. But I can't call it, Deji, honestly. I don't know. I can't say if we're going to win it or not. I hope we do. It could go either way. I don't know. It's difficult to back Spurs, right, Deji? It really is difficult because we just don't win in finals or semi-finals often. So it's really hard.
It's hard. And I guess for me, I would have had more chest if I saw domination in the location. Because for me, even with domination in the location, I could see a pattern of play. We were dominating the ball. We were attacking. We were creating chances. It's just that maybe a few defensive mistakes led to us losing to Newcastle, led to us losing to Arsenal. But you could see that we were in it and we were ready to fight. I felt that the whole of 2025, we just don't look like a team that knows what they're doing in terms of attack. I went to go and see AZ with Sean. I went to go and watch the Nottingham Forest game. Even the Bodo game, like, we don't open teams up anymore. And for me, that's what's concerning. And I just don't know. That's why I would have preferred Bilbao. I feel like if we're playing a European team who doesn't know us, I think we get the win. But we're playing another English team who have been watching us be dusty week in, week out. And I know it's the same for the other side. I just hope we are able to formulate a pattern of play in the next 10 days where we can open that United defence. Because if not, Solanke not having shots on goal does not fill me with any confidence. Basuma in the midfield does not fill me with any confidence. That inverted high line with Udogie further forward than bloody Solanke does not fill me with confidence. So he has to really change it up, and we've got to play to our team's strengths, which is Porro whipping the ball for Richarlison and for Solanke to head in. And that's how we've scored. That's how we scored against Boulder. Unless we're whipping balls into the box, none of this on the floor crap that we've been doing with Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner. I think we've got to be whipping crosses in all day long. But then you've got Maguire, who's good at heading the ball. You know, Yoro's good at heading. So it's going to be the battle of the Dusties for sure. I just hope we have enough in our tank to get over the line.
We have to pray, man. We've got to win that match. We have to. We've got to win, man. Honestly, after the season we've had, it's got to end in glory and win that trophy. And then everybody's happy. The fans and players, everybody celebrates, and we move to the summer.
Yeah. But on that note, big up to everyone. Thank you, Andy Milan, for joining. Thank you, Dan, for joining.
Okay.
No worries.
Is Postecoglou a genius or a madman? We will literally find out in about how many days? In 9 days. In 9 days' time. I hope he's a genius and he wins. I'm happy to call him one. But if he doesn't, he's been a complete madman and he's been a fraud, and we all will take him for mugs. But I hope the former is more true than the latter. Until then, enjoy the rest of your days and see you later. Thank you.